just like your game, and unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, because they're a bunch of clowns, our game has mana, and our mana system in Hearthstone usually goes from 0 mana to 10 mana. I'm not going to show you any cards above 11 mana in this case. What your job is today is to not only tell me if you think the card is good, but guess the mana cost of the card. That is your objective today.
What?
Okay. So here's an example. Here's your.
I think I get it. I think I get it.
Here's your first card.
Tree of Life. Mystery cost. Restore all characters to full health. Well, it's Druid, so it automatically is like can be played for like 1 or something. You and
Sivo say the same thing every single time you guys see a Druid card, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've conditioned us.
That is true.
You've absolutely locked us in. It's like we read a Druid card, we try to evaluate it based on cost, and then we have to remember, oh yeah, this shit's free.
Do you think this card's good?
I don't know. It depends on the cost, right? Okay.
That's fair.
If this were 0 mana, would I play this card? Yeah, there'd probably be some kind of a combo thing you can do with it, but it's niche. It's probably a very, very niche card, even at a really low price. Okay. So it's probably not 0. Let's go. If it were 1, would I play this?
Oh my God. I really like the methodology difference between you and Simo, by the way.
You'll have to tell me what that means.
You're gonna start. So you're going from 0 up, it seems like, at least for your very first card. Simo, I think, was like, let me see what I think the actual mana cost should be, and then let me go from there.
Bro, I see. Okay. I don't know. It's like a mind game, and I'm lazy, so I just like to answer yes or no questions. So sure. Would I play this for 1? It's probably almost too enticing at that point. Maybe there's something that like can like lower it, like pings itself down. God, I have to remember how Hearthstone works. Damage doesn't go away. It's also all characters. It's the opponents too. That's a little nasty. Also, all characters. Are you a character?
Your hero is a character, if that's what you're asking.
And the opponent's a character?
Yes, they're NPCs in my Hearthstone game, but yes, they are characters.
No way. I thought they were all bots. Okay. So how much would you pay to restore all characters to full health in Druid? Druid, big stompy land, big rampy land, Druid. I have a feeling that they fired this off as one of those, especially in 2014. I think they were trying to make one of these exciting cards that's a little bit, I don't know. The card is definitely has potential in restore all characters to full health if you're trying to survive to a late game to execute a combo and that's how you win.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that they priced it really high in 2014. If it were, I might be crazy, but I think nowadays maybe you could put this at 5 and it would be stone cold unplayable. But I bet early on it was even higher. So let's see. Would it be 6? It's Druid, so push it to 7. I'm gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna go a nice, stupid, crazy 8.
8?
We're gonna go 8. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go 8.
To answer your original, like at 5 mana this card be playable, that's an actually really interesting question. I feel like it would still be broken if at 5
broken?
Mana. Because this card was printed at 9 mana.
Okay, that's
so you were kind of close. Now the question ends up being, do you think the card was good?
I mean, I bet it saw some fringe play. Oh, like, okay, it kind of depends. Does Druid have the best end game? If Druid has the best end game and the only option you really have is to like try to rush it, and then resolving this might just mean that the next turn you win the game, sure. Like maybe in a Yogg deck, like this is your 9 and then 10 is GG. So maybe that's where it lives. Okay. But I would say there's probably better things you can do to like further a game plan, stabilize a board than gain health for all your mana. I bet there are big monsters you can play, maybe something that makes a taunter or two that are just better all around. I'm going to say people tried it, but I don't think it was like, there might be a competitive deck that did this, but I really don't think so. It's big ass life gain, you know? Yeah,
you would be basically right. This card, I don't think it saw any play. I could be wrong, but like no competitive deck wanted this. The only time you really saw this is off Yogg. Like I think that was like the best example. Maybe when you discovered it like later on when League of Explorers came out, but yeah, it was not a good card. This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon, and let me tell you, I hope they keep sponsoring me. It's so good. Magic Spoon is a high protein cereal snack that you can eat at any single point during the day, especially during their ad. It comes in a variety of different flavors. My absolute favorite one is the blueberry muffin. It tastes literally just like a blueberry muffin. I don't know how they do it. And it's got 13 grams of protein, 0 sugars, and a total of 4 net carbs for the cereal. Or if you're going for one of their snack bars, which is just as good as the cereal, it's got 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and 3 grams of net carbs. And one of the best parts about Magic Spoon, other than, hold on. Sorry, I need to do that. Is that if it's a variety of different diets, regardless if you're keto or you're just looking at your calories, this is a perfect alternative to get a fantastic snack. So if you want to try Magic Spoon, make sure you use the promo code Rarran or click the link in the description down below to go check out some amazing cereal and snacks. And trust me, you won't regret it. Back to the video.
Unlicensed apothecary. I hate this word.
Apothecary.
Apothecary.
There we go. All right. All right. You make fun of me all the time with your magic cards. It's fucking horrible.
Hey, 5/5 demon. After you summon a minion, deal 5 damage to your hero. 5 damage to your hero? That's so much damage.
That's a lot of damage. It's
for summoning a minion. Does this count itself?
No, it does not count itself. No. It has to be on the board.
You need the price to be low enough that they're excited about the rate, but then the downside is that this is kind of the only thing you really want to play creature-wise, minion-wise, after you cast it. 4 jumps out to me right away, but that might be too high. Okay. That might be too high. I think if it were 3, though, I mean, if it were 3, it would be a heck of a thing on the board. It would probably deal with 2 things, probably. Would you even attack this if you're the opponent? Seriously, right?
Good question. Actually, good question.
The Zerg would love it. Nice job. You did it. You play this for 2 against Zerg, they might not even attack it. It's like
yeah, I would agree. This was a really interesting card when they released it.
2017. Can you believe
16,
that's
16.
like 16? This is almost a decade ago. Can you believe that?
Hearthstone turned 11 this year, and
I think if they're putting this out at 2, that's crazy. If they're putting it out at 3, that's like the aggressive cost, and I feel like 4 is the safe cost, and it's 2016. I'll go with 4 on the unlicensed apothecary. I'll go with 4.
Okay, it is 3 mana. It is 3 mana.
Okay, still close, but no cigar.
Do you think this card was playable?
I like the idea of putting this out for 3 and then just slugging it out with a few minions on board while casting some spells. If your curve allows you to cast some spells instead of summon more minions, you're in good shape. But I am guessing it's too limiting of a game plan on its own. I'm going to say it got tested, but also didn't make the cut.
I'm pretty sure this card wasn't even tested. I don't think these people wanted this card at all.
Nobody touched this card.
I think the thought process of it was like exactly what you're going for. Like, it's a huge statted minion with a drawback, so you don't want to play other minions. But the reality is that even with that drawback, like, Warlock could do better stuff. And like, what deck is this really going into? You don't need this tempo. Like, you'd rather do other stuff for 3 mana. Most importantly, though, the drawback of this card was like game losing, right? Like, you can't play this. 5 damage per minion just loses you the game on the spot. And the only time you saw this, unironically, is when it's randomly generated.
Travel security. So, undead. The art is funny. It's a 2/2 undead with taunt and death rattle. Summon a random 8-cost minion. What? Oh my. Okay, so I was gonna be like, it's a little zombie friend. I'm sure it's like a 2 or a 3. Nah.
I got think
okay.
Now, reminder: you don't get battle cries. It's not like Magic where you enter the battlefield. This thing happens. You're not playing it from hand.
Yep. No battle cry. And it's random. It's probably good.
Okay.
Like, you can't price this over 8. That would be stupid. You could price it at 8, but then, I don't know, anything kills it and your big thing comes out, and what does it matter? When did this come out?
Last year.
Ah! Okay. Last year? Jeez, 1 mana. 1 mana, probably.
Could you imagine? Oh my God.
What kind of a discount should you get when the 8 cost is a random with no battle cry? What kind of a discount should that be? I don't know why. What's jumping out in my head is 6. That's what's jumping out to me in my head.
You want to elaborate on that?
I'm trying. It's like weird. I'm thinking of like, what is a dumb Easter egg in a Magic card? You know, like you crack it open, look what's inside. Fair. I don't know. And for some reason, 6 stands out because I feel like there's a Magic card that this reminds me of, but I can't put my finger on what it is. I also think that no battle cry and randomness and the fact that it's a 2/2, so it die like you invest a lot, right? And it's when it dies. So if there's a way to exile it, remove its text box, give it the owl, you know, it's not gonna do what you want to do, and you put a lot into it. Also, it's not good on offense, right? If your opponent just isn't fighting for the board and you pay a large amount for a 2/2, it limits this heavily. It really wants to engage in combat, so you get that 8 cost. So I 6. I'm gonna go with 6.
Okay, final answer.
You sounded way too happy about that.
I don't know. Don't ignore my emotions.
You sound way too gleeful.
Ignore my emotions. Ignore my emotions.
Yeah.
You're correct. It is 6.
Okay. Thank God. Oh, wow.
So I was going to bait you there a little bit. This is in a class, like this is Death Knight, right? Death Knight really likes to reborn their death rattles. So one of the things that this card is used for is the fact that you can reborn it, which means once it dies, you get the 8 cost, and this comes back at 1 life, which means you get a 2-for-1 special at Dominoes. The reality is, well, actually, before I even say this, do you think this card was playable? Or is playable, I should say. It's actually currently in the game still, right?
At 6, it would depend if they were, like in Magic, I would be looking at a card like this and a way to sacrifice it to like basically turn it into something else and get big value off its death. So if there was something like that, I could see it getting an opportunity. Playing it straight up and hoping that like your opponent is trying to get through to you and kill it. Like I said, if you're ahead, it's really bad. I'm going to say it seems too limited to me. It seems kind of silly. So I'm going to say no.
So this card actually I think was tried, but yeah, inevitably it was just too weak. Random Atrops aren't great. You want to play their battle cry. You want something to happen when this thing dies. In Arena, this card's an absolute menace, but in Standard, it's too slow. But
oh no, Rarran, it's a weapon. I don't know what to do with a weapon. We know this. Oh my God.
What do you think? It's all gonna be free? Oh hell no, man.
Oh Christ. All right, Supercollider has 1 attack, it has 3 defense, and it says after you attack a minion, force it to attack one of its neighbors?
Yeah, so unlike in your game, where it's just, I don't even know how to describe your board state, it just goes crazy. We have positioning, right? So you got to think about when this card is in Standard, you have to start thinking about how you're going to position your minions, which was actually a really fun mechanic. This was a really well-designed card.
When did this come out?
2018.
2018. Supercollider. Okay. How much would one pay for this? If it's like removal in quite a few ways, and it has 3 uses. Only hits for 1. So if the opponent has a 2/2 and a 3/3, and you hit the 3/3, then it becomes a 3/2, and it attacks the 2/2, and they both die.
Yep.
That's freaking busto. So I don't think this can be 3 mana. I mean, that's like a 2 for, that's more than a 2 for 1 because you still have the weapon. Like that curve is semi-oppressive. I think we gotta bump it up a little, right?
Okay.
So if we're at 4, is that slow enough? I mean, I guess there is the downside of it has to be working against a board, but Hearthstone is very much about that combat. I mean, what's the point of a weapon almost at all? If there's nobody's trying to fight for the board, right?
Have you heard of Demon Hunter?
I know. Go face. I know.
During this era, though, you're right. Yeah, the board mattered a lot.
After you attack a minion, force it to attack one of its neighbors. What if it has 2 neighbors? How do you choose?
It is random.
It is random. Oh yeah, you have that in Hearthstone. Now we're talking about the secret mechanics.
So
okay.
This is why against this card, right, you have to think about how you're going to position your minions because the randomness actually was relevant in a lot of these cases. And if you play right into Supercollider, you might just get stomped because you're right. This is like a 3-for-1 special, right? Well, 6-for-1 technically if you do really well.
I think 5 would be unplayable. So I'm sitting at 3 and 4 because you want this down at the right time. Or wait, how bad is it? Okay, what if the opponent doesn't have little dorks? What if they're not on the 1/3 special of Hearthstone? What if they're like, they've got a 3/3, a 4/4, and a 5/5, and you hit the 5/5, and if they set it in the wrong spot, it just immediately runs in the 4/4 and they both die. That's still busted. I mean, maybe it is better at a higher. Maybe it's even. I mean, obviously a lower price is better, but maybe it's still totally worth your turn at 4 and 5. Oh God, yeah. This thing is a bitch. And then you're talking about positioning. So I'm guessing when this came out, like it was lighting people up and it got in everybody's heads and they probably played around it the whole meta, whether this was good or not. And it probably got worse as people knew what to do with that. But at the same time, just the fact that you would catch people sometimes snoozing on Supercollider. I guess they kind of know, right? They know the class. So anytime anytime they see this class, they're like, I've got to lock in and I've got to play around this weapon. 2018, give me a Supercollider 4. 4. We're going 4.
All right. It was 5 mana.
Ah, so close, dude.
Very close. Very close.
Oh my God.
Based on how you're thinking about this, you think this card's obviously very good.
I think it was before people saw it coming.
I will tell you right now, this card was one of the best cards that Warrior got during those years. Very good card standard. It didn't really matter if your opponent was thinking about it. It's almost impossible not to play into it. And if you don't play into it, Warrior had too much other removal to just deal with a single target. It was just a really, really, really good card for any control Warrior deck. So like it was played in like everything.
I hate that I've been one off 3 times. That's gonna like eat me. That's
surely this one you got it. Surely this one you got it.
Okay. Cover artist. It's a 3/3 battle cry. Transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion. Would they give you that for 2 mana? I mean, like clone effects can be really powerful. Having a second copy of this is a different era, but the auctioneer, like if this were like 2 mana, be kind of nutty. Would be absolutely nutty.
I will not say whether or not this card was played at auction.
Okay. Well, but if it's 3 mana, is it any good? It's a 3 mana clone, and it's kind of silly that it comes in as a 3/3 copy anyway. 3 mana clone, is that good? So in Magic, we had 4 mana clones for a long time, and they were decisively average. They didn't see a lot of competitive play. But then they kind of started doing some 3 mana stuff and they saw play. And then they did 2 mana with a drawback and it saw play. Like so much play.
What was the drawback?
So if it got targeted by any effect whatsoever by either player, you sacrificed it immediately.
Okay.
If it went 4, I think it would be too far below rate and very unexciting. And why would it be a 3/3, you know?
Okay.
Dude, there are 4 3s on this card. How could it not be a 5th one? It's like screaming at me. It's screaming at me that this is 3. But I want a modern card to be aggressively costed and trying to push boundaries, but I think that's too much, especially neutral. Am I really putting a 5th 3 on this card?
It's funny because Zero got a card right by being like, this card's a 7/7. It has to be 7 mana.
Oh God, that sounds like you're trying to bait me.
No. I swear to God, he actually did. Actually, it was a 6/6 for 6 mana. That's what it was. But
yeah. I believe you. If it were a demon, I'd have to guess that. I also have this weird feeling that maybe in Hearthstone, like they haven't done the clone thing as often, and you might come out and say that this was 4 or 5 because of synergies that I'm not seeing. But my magic brain won't let it happen, so I'm going with 3. Put the 5th 3 on this card.
All right, final answer.
Yep.
This card's 4 mana.
I am so freaking close and still wrong.
So I think for the most part, you were exactly right. This card was pretty mediocre for like what felt like a really long time. The one difference maker was with Titans, which you were aware, because Hearthstone, you want to copy a really powerful effect. So you could go ENR, which was the Druid one. You could refresh all your mana crystals. You then play the Cover Artist, which gives you a copy of ENR, which can allow you to just draw your hand or whatever you want to do. And depending on how you sequenced it, if you had additional mana, you could actually go ENR, Cover Artist, and get 20 mana in one turn with this card. That was like the really, really powerful turn that Cover Artist enabled with specifically Druid. But in reality, that was it. Which felt like it. For some reason, other than Titans, I feel like this card never saw any play. To give you some context as well, I was going to say this, but you kind of would just finish off your answer. We had a copy effect all the way back in Classic with Faceless Manipulator, which was 5 mana. That card in Classic saw play because it was really good to copy your Doomguard or Rag, or if you ever had the opportunity to like copy a really powerful minion because board battered so much. Cover Artist as a 3/3 does get weaker, but if you have an effect like a Titan, it ends up being a lot better. So 4 was where they kept it. Probably for the best.
It makes sense.
Okay. Nice try. You're so close.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm right there, man. I'm
you are.
right there. Spurfang, wait. Okay, I don't want to see any cactus stuff ever again. The freaking cactar for Final Fantasy is coming, and Simo keeps saying in every video he's going to attack me for 10,000, and I'm already over it, and it's not even here yet. It's literally what it does.
Yes.
It attacks for 10,000.
Oh, I saw it.
So
I saw
stupid. It's anyway.
Hey, it's all fun and games until you get smacked for 10,000, right? And then you're like, holy crap, I actually lost to that.
It's actual bullshit. All right, these numbers. I don't even want to go there right now. I can't emotionally go there right now. I have to stay in the game. So Spurfang here is a 2/5 beast. Hunter,
yep.
I'm doing it. Okay. Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Summon a random beast with cost equal to this minion's attack. Whoa. Random. Beast, but it's a beast with cost equal to this minion's attack. Oh. Yeah, this comes out, you get Rando Beast. That's a 2. And then if you somehow give it the buffs, then you get something better when it dies, or just get another 2. Maybe that's fine. If this costs 3 mana, would that be insane? That'd be pretty good. That'd be damn good. When did this come out?
Oh, so I keep forgetting to tell you. 2023.
It's a new card. You're a new card. You're in Showdown in the Badlands. See what I'm getting?
Yep. You know what's crazy? You must have saw it when you went to BlizzCon with me. You must have saw it. Probably not. I can just look super hard. You might get it.
I don't think I saw it. Was it on the big screen? Were we in the audience watching this? I don't remember.
I don't remember if Spurfang was there.
I don't know.
What did they release? I think it was Warriors, so no, I don't think it was there.
I think 3 is the aggressive answer, and 4 seems totally fine. 5 seems we don't actually want you to play this card. It's also very much my Magic brain. A good little 4-cost snake with some value is very much a Magic the Gathering card. I like the built-in stuff here. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to go with 4.
All right, final answer?
Yeah.
This card is 5 mana.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't do it, dude. This is cooking my brain too hard. Oh my God.
Hearthstone printed this card, I'm pretty sure, at 5 mana because some of the other cards in this set did give it more attack, which means by the time you play it, you're summoning like potentially bigger beasts. That was, I think, realistically the answer. I think you're right. At 4 mana, the card actually would have saw a lot more play. I don't think I really saw it at 5. And that's kind of unfortunate because the card's it's kind of cool, but yeah, it should have probably been a 4. But yeah, they did burn hand buff. There's a card in the game called Messenger Buzzard that draws a beast and gives all minions your hand +1/+1. So like you have 2 of those, which means that can easily go to 4. Then if you're summoning 2 4-cost beasts with this, it's pretty decent.
Greater Arcane Missiles. Shoot 3 missiles at random enemies that deal 3 damage each. Immediately, I ask myself, if it were 3, would then that just work so well? There are so many 3s on this card.
Oh my God, dude. 3 would be...
And then I'm like, that's busted.
That is busted.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you a comparison here, okay? You have Arcane Missiles for 1 mana, deal 1 damage 3 times, randomly split. You have Fireball, which does 6 damage to 1 target. Those are your comparisons. There you go.
How much is Fireball? 4?
4 mana.
I got that one. That should count.
That's not in here.
Damn it. Greater Arcane Missiles. Shoot 3 missiles at random enemies that deal 3 damage to each. This is interesting because the higher the price goes on this, the less likely it actually does what you want, which is to kill things. Can the same enemy take 3 damage twice?
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, it could all go face for 9, right?
It could, if there's no board, it could go face for 9. So would they price this at like 9 mana for that beautiful synergy? That seems crazy. That seems bad. Would they do that just to be like...
I'll give you one more comparison. Because I think it's funny.
Okay.
You had Firelands Portal that dealt 5 damage and summoned a 5-cost minion for 7 mana.
Sure. So based on that and the other comparisons you've given me, the cost of this card makes no sense. That's what you're setting me up for.
I will confirm that. The cost of this card will surprise you. I will give you that.
Then it won't surprise me on the low end, I don't think. I guess we'll see. Because what would be too low? What would be too low? Something of like 5 mana for this seems pretty dang good. It seems good, but is it broken? I think I would put this at 5 or 6. And because you thought the comparison was funny, I'm going to metagame, and I'm going to put this right at 7 as well.
You're going to pick 7 because of the comparison I gave you.
Yes, I'm going to pick 7 because it's funny. So also it would 7 would surprise me. It's a weird number here. Doesn't line up with any of the 3s. Doesn't do it. Am I doing that? I am. Yeah. Give me 7. Give me 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are correct. It was 7 mana, which is honestly shocking, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Firelands Portal was printed the set before this, and you could probably guess that Firelands Portal was really fucking good during that time. This card saw literally no play whatsoever. And I think what they thought was spell damage on this card would go crazy. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I'd rather have 5 damage and summon a 5-cost minion to hit something like that I want. Like a consistent effect rather than hoping that it hits the right targets.
The Iceblood Tower. At the end of your turn, cast another spell from your deck. It lasts 3 turns. At the end of your turn, just cast a random spell from your deck. Wah! It's on the stack. What would I pay for this?
It's on the stack.
This is really cool. This would be the coolest 1 mana card ever. It'd be busted. So we're not going to do that. Last 3 turns. It's 3 spells in 1. You have some control. They're in your deck. They're probably good, at least in some context, or you wouldn't put them in your deck. It's not like a random spell.
I would agree with everything you just said.
Thanks. Also, if this is too cheap, what if your deck is full of big boom booms, right? Like,
yes,
you could have this in your deck as like if it were 4, just as a thought experiment. If it were 4, you could probably have this in your deck, and just the other things are just a bunch of like 10s. And it's like super. It's cheaty portal ramp, right? If you have it in your hand, otherwise cheaty your deck does nothing.
I would agree.
Yeah, that might be fun once, and then people don't like that. You can't just play this. You can't just do nothing or even nearly nothing. A majority of your deck can't be greater than 6. Counting on this card, I don't think. You're just going to die at all times. So at this point, you have to run some smaller cards that keep you alive, and you have to have some big hits, or at least some reasonable hits that you want from this. I think that's I think that's a good cost. I think 6 makes some amount of sense. So in the spirit of how this video has been going, we're going to go to 7 because the cool effects I'm clearly underpricing the cool effects. Every time I see an effect like this that is cool, I'm like, guys, let's make it playable. Let's get it into decks in 2020, whatever. And they're like, you know what? Nah, let's pump the brakes on that. We've got some StarCraft cards to push. So I'm going to go with 7.
All right. Final answer?
Yes.
This card was 10 mana.
Sure. We could do that too. Wow.
So the logic of this card is kind of what you're thinking, is you put this card in a deck where you have a bunch of other really expensive spells that do a lot for your board immediately. And there's a couple of them. I'm not going to rip through them, but they were very impactful to the board. This card actually, I kind of spoiled it. It kind of saw play. It was good enough if you could find a way to mana cheat it, which eventually there was. And that was basically the reason it was played. Also, like 10 mana to cast a spell from your deck that does like 10 damage and summon a 10-cost minion. It's pretty good.
If it hits that, right? It's like that's a lot of. How do you make it hit that? Like, well, so it could hit a 2-drop.
You are. You're not.
What? Are we crazy?
Are you forgetting that minions aren't spells in this game?
Fuck.
I was like, wait, why would you build your deck with this? And then it clicked. Yeah, so let's remind ourselves. Let's remind it.
I did it again. It's been months.
Let's just imagine that you thought that you knew that, like, David just edited out the whole last little bit.
Yeah.
Just hey, what do you think this card's rated? Knowing, of course, that you're a Magic player, but you are aware that spells aren't creatures or minions.
I'm very aware that minions aren't spells, Rare, and thank you for mentioning that. It is considerate, but I am so aware of it, and that is why Iceblood Tower, because it's easy to kind of play around with some huge spells and a deck full of only minions, and the tower itself has to be at least 10 mana.
At least.
It has to be. There's no choice. There's no choice, Rarran.
That's so
absolutely not. I think 11 mana to be safe, really, but for some reason, I'm going to go under 11 down to 10.
Oh, classic. Okay, well, you're on. You can redeem yourself here. I believe in you, okay? I believe in you.
Okay, yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, you're loving this. Just when, and you were glazing me for this whole video, like, oh, you're so good at this CGV. You're doing really well.
I think it's funny because I don't even get to see your face when we record these, but while I'm explaining why the card was good, I'm sure you're just sitting there like, wait, but like, how are you getting these big cost spells? Like, I don't understand. And then
you'll see it in the edit. Anyway, Serrated. Bone
Holy
Spike.
Fuck, that was funny.
Deals 3 damage to a minion, and if it dies, your next card this turn costs 2 less. Oh. Okay, when was this printed?
2022.
2022. Your next card this turn. So for good removal in 2022, what do you got to do?
You asking me, or are you like thinking?
I'm thinking.
Okay,
I'm
good.
thought experimenting. So if this costs 2, then you would kill a thing and get to play on turn 2. You could kill a thing and play a 2 mana card for 0, and that would be nice. You'd feel pretty smart about that. Doesn't seem busted though, because you like, it seems very good, and it's kind of flipping the board, right? But I don't think that's out of bounds. I don't think that's out of bounds, especially like this is one of those cards when you go second that turns it around if you're just way down on tempo. Why would they want good cards in their game when they can have bad cards? So if this were 3, your next card this turn costs 2 less. It might not even kill what you want to kill for 3. And now a free 2-drop, maybe that helps you finish the job. It's not like you can use your hero power though. It's like, it has to be a card, and it has to be this turn. That's a huge deal. If it just discounted something in your hand that way, it'd be awesome.
I'm gonna just remind you that this is for Rogue.
So, and they like casting multiple spells.
Yeah, Rogue. Like I think when you're looking at this card, I wouldn't look at it at the lens of like you need another card to cast, because you probably have another card to cast. I'm not worried for that.
Yeah, they like to combo. They like to combo and tempo. That's why this seems like a pretty cool card for Rogue. I want it to be 2 because that seems like a sweet card I'd enjoy playing. So, did they want this to be a sweet card you enjoy playing, or is that too good? It says if it dies. That's a big deal. So there are times where this isn't even that good of a card, because you do have to line it up with something that's going to die. Man, I think 3 is so much worse. Like there's some of those interesting borders between cards, right? 1 and 2 is literally double, so it's huge. The next biggest one is 2 and 3. That's the next biggest difference you can have. And then when you have like 3 and 4, 3 is a lot closer to 4 than 2 is to 3.
Yep.
Just because of the way the mana systems work. And I think that's something that a Yu-Gi-Oh player might, be working on, but it's like built into my DNA at this point. And I think that 2 is awesome and 3 might be unplayable. So that's why I'm just like, I will go with cost reduction, mana cheating, incredibly powerful, incredibly awesome. And they knew that by the time this card got printed. And I haven't guessed high in a while, so I'm going to go with 3.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
This card was 2 mana.
Yeah, I want it. Oh, fine. Good. Happy for the card. I'm happy for the card.
You could probably guess that this card was very good at 2 mana. Easily slottable in every Rogue deck, very playable in every Rogue deck. Even going first, it was great. Also, there's a cute little combination with preparation, which means you could discount this first, then play this, and then you discount a card for an extra additional 2 mana if you think about that, because you're not actually spending the 2 mana on the Bone Spike. So like you would get a lot of reduction with this card. You do some really fun things with this. Really, really good card for Rogue. Very, very playable.
It's like ramp.
It is like ramp. Here's a question for you. Because I said this, I think, in a SEMO video. I don't remember. You wouldn't count like the coin in Hearthstone. Would you count that as ramp?
It's debatable.
Interesting.
It's very debatable. It's
interesting.
So it's burst ramp, or in Magic we would call it burst ramp or ritual, which is, a temporary piece of mana, not a permanent piece of mana that you invested a cost into getting more in the future. That's what they call ramp, which is you invest mana now, you have more extra mana permanently in the future as the game goes on.
Let me give you a follow-up question here. Would you count ramping as mana cheating?
Some people would say that, but I think they're wrong. I think the answer is no.
That's all I need to hear. Thank you. You fucking sucky YouTube commenter. All right, here's the next
Glad
card.
to help.
YouTube commenters, sons of bitches. Okay, that's fine. Here.
I know, right? But we don't usually complain about them until after the camera's off.
Oh no, I shake their face on stream. It's fine. No worries.
Okay. But no. Stream is different. Stream is different. Stream is different, right? The chat and comments are different. They're two different enemies.
You know what? I could go on a rant for the next hour and a half about this conversation. Let's just say I love my viewers. Thanks for watching, Smiles.
Yeah, we love you. And don't forget to comment. Divine Toll. It's holy. It says to shoot 5 rays at random minions. Rays? Like missiles? They give friendly minions +2/+2, I see, and deal 2 damage to enemy minions. You get 5 of those?
You get 5 of those.
5 of those? Oh my goodness.
The number above 4, yes.
It's random.
It is random.
2 damage to the enemies, +2/+2 to the friendlies. When did this come out?
Same expansion as Serrated Bone Spike, 2022.
2022, 5 rays.
I think it's
how much mana should it be to distribute all that stat? Either way, it's like it moves 10 in a direction. What if you only have 1 minion and they have nothing? Is there a combo that can like wipe the board, leave you with 1 minion, and then you also give it like +10 and it has like lifesteal or something, right? That'd be messed up. So at like, dude, I can't go 5. Can I? It's a lot of, it seems like so much stats for 5. Like, yeah, you have 2 minions, they have 2 minions. The randomness is a pain, but you play this before you attack and you're probably going to kill everything they have. Like, that's the way I see it. If you have somewhat of a board and they have somewhat of a board and you play this and then start attacking, I think you're going to kill everything you wanted to kill that turn. I don't think much is going to go well for the opponent. So when you're looking at something akin to a one-sided board wipe situation, it's when you're behind, it's okay. It might kill a few things when you're behind. When you're ahead, it's pretty nasty. Like it can definitely put you way ahead. So how much do you have to pay for that? I think 5 would be too low. Okay. I think 6. We're getting there. Still really good. 7. I think I keep on being one off, Rarran. I keep being one off. Okay. These videos are just so much funnier when I'm way off, right? And I can't forget, I can't, do the minion spells thing with every card. So here we go. On Divine Toll, I'm going to say 8. I'm going to go with 8 for this card. Okay. Final answer? Yeah. This is too funny, bro. It's 7 mana. You literally just... God damn it. It sounded like going through this, you thought this card was extremely good. Am I right? It's good at... So, behind it's fine, and like ahead it can be extremely, extremely good. Okay. I don't know if that's Priest's thing. I don't know of a Priest deck that's ahead. This is Paladin. Well, that would change things. Well, we've done so many videos. How can you not tell? It's funnier if I can. Okay, so it's funny that you think this card is so good because at 7 mana it was never played. I think so. You were going through how one-sided board wipes can push you far ahead, which I do agree. Consecration during this time I think is 3 mana. So Consecration is 3 mana, deal 2 damage to every opponent, like every enemy. Which that card
being that like potentially that powerful doesn't see a ton of play either, which is shocking because that card used to be like the GOAT back in the day. This card at 7 mana was just way too fucking slow.
Heroic Innkeeper. This is a question mark for a 4/4 taunt battle cry. Gain +2/+2 for each other friendly minion. So heroic, so innkeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the art anyways? Is she in like an innkeeper? I guess that's a fireplace behind her, kind of. Yeah, it looks like she has a broom. No, that's a sword. Is that a broom
is
katana?
That a broom? It's a broom sword. A broom katana, yes, actually. And
interesting. She's
what is the
her
and
sword.
the outfit is giving me like Arabian Nights vibes.
It might be. Yeah, I mean it's kind of
Princess Jasmine vibes. You know?
I do get that. Could be like a warm spot.
But then your eyes just you went like Super Saiyan or something, and your eyes turned blue, and like what's going on? What happened in the inn?
That might just be the race. I'm actually not. I'm not going to comment on that in case I just sound completely racist because I don't know anything about these. They're blood elves.
Awkward. We don't know why your eyes would be blue. Please don't cancel us.
This is actually a real character in the game.
Aha.
Is a Rami Fairwind.
Ah, you're a legendary. Kind of.
She is
Magic,
a high elf
legendary.
And the main innkeeper of the Alliance in A Hero's Welcome found in Dalaran. There you go.
There you go. I want to hear her taunt though. What does she say that just gets under your skin so badly that you must attack her?
When you play her, she says your patronage is not welcome here.
Dude, is that not the worst when you're trying to go to a place and they're just like, yeah, maybe this isn't for you.
I think she would have a reason for it. I don't think anybody's just pulling out the katana and their broom just because you walked in.
Is it my Horde sweatshirt? Is that the problem? Okay. Anyway, battle cry. This battle cry. So like somebody had a dream with this card, and it's like you play a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop that is maybe a 2/2 that makes a 1/1, and then you play this, and it's like a 10/10 or a 12/12, right? And the opponent's like, oh my god! But in Rarran terms, that is a big meatball.
That is a big meatball, but it has taunt.
And it does have taunt. And it dies to removal.
So true.
And it also assumes that nothing bad happened to your board whatsoever. That you just grew a board and the opponent wasn't. Did you say consecrating?
Consecrated.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that you
constipated. I was like, what the fuck is he going for here? Sorry, continue.
I think that you really want this card to be an okay rate on itself, or it would never see play. If it were like 4 mana for a 2/2, I just like you could never play this, because if your board did get wrecked and you were in a fight for the board and this was your turn 4, like you already lost. It's only good from ahead. So if you wanted this to see play, I think you would put it at like 4. And that would be aggressive costing, because then you're just playing it on its own and it's fine. But then when you play it with a board, when you're winning, you get way more, you're much more ahead, right?
Okay.
So if you put this at 5, I would say, is it playable? That's my question. If you put this at 5, the dream is there, and it sounds very much like one of those meetings we talked about where somebody comes in and says, well, that's a little too good. Let's try it at 5 instead. And if you put that at 6, I just think it's like, hell no, no way. Nobody's gonna do that. So I still want to go like 5. I think somebody was scared of this being too good or something, or getting out of hand. And then if I find out it's like 7 or 8, somebody really didn't want anybody to ever play this poor card. So I'm gonna say it's 5.
Oh, it's 8 mana.
It's 8 mana. It's 8 mana. Oh my god. What are we doing? Tell me it's broken. Tell me everybody plays this card. Tell me it sees competitive play at 8 mana.
No, it's solid. No, but I am like 100% sure when it comes to this card. The reason it's printed at this mana cost is because Evolve and kind of stuff like that. There is a card that they printed in this expansion called Conjurer's Calling, which says destroy a friendly minion, summon 2 minions at the same cost. That card was fucking insane. That was arguably one of the best cards Mage has ever received. And there's a card called Kaligos in the same expansion that is 8 mana dragon. Your first spell costs 0. So you'd play Kaligos, you would just transform into different A costs, and then they needed a card in the pool to be a low roll. That's my only thought process, because I don't understand. This card unplayable. You're entirely right. It's funny. I was gonna give you the comparison, but then I figured like I'm not gonna bother. There's a card in Hearthstone Classic called Frostwolf War Leader. I want to go with. It's 5 mana 4/4 and gains +1/+1 for each other minion you control, just like this one basically. And that card wasn't really even playable.
Sure.
The fact that this is 8 is insane. Oh my god. Okay. Two more cards.
Okay. I have a question though. Go. If this were 4, would it see play
during Rise of Shadows? Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Let's go, you cowards.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Well, yeah, I think it would. I think if you could just go like 1, 2, 3 and it hit like one minion, you'd be happy. A 4 mana 6/6 with taunt. Yeah. Like you'd probably be pretty happy with that. If you got 2 minions, like it would maybe be too good at that point. But yeah, 4 would be probably insane. Okay, last 2 cards here. I showed Simo both of these. Okay. Now I wish I remembered if he got them right or not. I can tell you right now that one of them for sure he got wrong. I won't tell you which one though.
Okay.
Here you go.
Typhoon. Each minion gets shuffled into a random player's deck.
Before you ask, 2025, the current expansion we're in.
Each minion gets shuffled into a random player's deck. Oh my god, a board wipe. What class is that?
That's Shaman.
That's Shaman. That's the first Shaman one I think I've seen today. A board wipe that stops death rattles and puts really like silly cards in silly places. Like, how badly do you want all your opponent's stuff in your deck? Let's assume that you could play it in such a way that you didn't even have any minions on board when you played this. So all you got was like a whole board of the opponent's stuff shuffled into your deck. How big of a downside is it to get Weasel Tunnered? But I get, assuming
skipping your draw is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. But do your opponents have good minions or bad minions? If they have bad minions, why haven't you won already? Like, what are we doing here? So they got to be kind of good. But what if they just built a board full of like tokens, like just little shitters, right? And those are in your deck? That's not good. That's not good at
all. They could go in their deck.
We also have to figure out the maniac who designed such a thing. The maniac whose, baby this was. You would not want this to be cheap. I don't think. It's too much of a big effect, and it just has that Timmy energy.
There is a card that does something very similar to this that was printed years ago before this.
Okay.
Before I tell you what it is and how much it costs, I'm going to ask you if you want the hint.
Are you going to be like, it doesn't count if I get... No, I'm trying to beat Simo. Never mind. Give me the damn hint.
There's a card. I think I showed it to you at some point. It's called Psychic Scream. It came out in 2018. It is 7 mana for Priest. It says shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck.
All minions into your opponent's deck for 7. My gut was saying this should be 7, but that one's better, right? Because you can Weasel Tunnel your opponent.
Yep.
And it's also in Priest, which is more the control-y color.
I would say Shaman has control. Like I'm not going to say that it doesn't. Over the history, Priest is more of the control-y type class. But
Shaman also like poops out totems, right? Like if you shuffle totems into your opponent's deck, that's kind of like, that ain't cool. Probably they can't. What are they going to do with those, really? Right?
Sure.
Just stupid little totems. You don't want to draw those.
No, you do not.
I think Typhoon's worse. I think that's reasonable to say. 7 was what I was going to guess. And now knowing that years earlier, there was a better version at 7. So I think that they didn't want to do that again. I'm guessing that card was frustratingly good in the day. The one for Paladin.
Second stream. For Priest, you mean, right?
Priest.
I know the difference. I will just let you know that, and I said this to Simo, I'm pretty sure Psychic Scream could be considered for like top 3 Priest cards. Like it was really good. Very good.
So this is a worse version in Shaman years later with what they know. And they're trying to get you to buy some packs and get excited. And like I said, it has that like Timmy, oh my God, what if energy, where people who don't think of the game the way that we do, get really excited about what it does, so they don't realize it's a downside until maybe it's spelled out to them or they have bad experiences. So it's a pack seller. And for those who lived through Psychic Scream, it's the member berries. Oh, that was good. I remember that. That was really good. We got to do this card. We're going to craft this card right here. We're going to dust our whole collection to get us some Typhoon. So if they're trying to just push those buttons, I think years later, they could do this at 7 as well. I think that, and if I were designing a game, that's what I would do. I would put it at the same cost and have people you have the smarty pants going, well, actually, it's not as good as Psychic Scream. And then the Timmy's being like, it's better than Psychic Scream. I can't wait. So that's what I'm saying. I would put it at 7. Let's go with it. What?
It's 10 mana.
10? What the hell? What the hell? Do they not want to sell their cards? What is this?
See, honestly, like I said this to Simo too. I have no idea why this card's 10 mana. I have no idea.
So in a video like this is the first time I've done this kind of video with you. I will tell you, you have an absurd amount of power to just put one motherfucker in there. Just one card that you find that you're like, never should have been this cost. And you just get to ruin my brain. And you know what? Thank you for not doing it earlier in the video. That's all I'm going to say.
You're welcome.
Hold on. Did it ever see play? Is Typhoon a deck?
Currently, I have never seen it get played. Again, this is the expansion it was released in. So...
Okay. Okay.
Will it, so maybe this is the thing, right? They design sets like a year in the future. Maybe at some point this ends up being extremely good, and like there's like a mechanic that we just don't see yet because they haven't released all the cards. There's a mini set coming out soon for this expansion. Maybe there's some kind of synergy.
Yeah, maybe there's a spell that is like 0 mana, draw a card named Typhoon in your deck costs 3 less to cast. Maybe there's that card.
See, the thing is like even at 7 mana, I don't think I'm playing this card.
Azalina Soulthief. So a 3/3 undead with a battle cry. Replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. Okay. A copy of your opponent's. Replace your hand. So they just still have their hand, right?
They still have their hand, yeah.
So what you want is to play this when you have no cards, basically. Yeah, and then it's card draw. Because what we were saying, when you get your opponent's stuff, you don't actually want to pay a premium for that. You want to get their stuff as kind of free value because it's not going to be as good for your deck as... it is kind of funny to have this in a mirror, but it's normally not going to be as good for your deck as it is for theirs. So if you dropped your hand really quick and then played this... That's a solid play. You're just unloading that hand. This is generic? Is it neutral?
This is neutral. Yep.
Okay. So if you want to, I don't know, spam out your Demon Hunter hand and then get their hand.
Let me tell you before, because you just reminded me. This card came out in 2018. Okay. Demon Hunter was on the game yet.
Yeah, we go right into Demon Hunter. Let's go. Okay. Good call. In Druid, let's play all our stuff and play this. This against Druid, play all your little stuff and then have a handful of big stuff. That's pretty good. I mean, it's another one of those Timmy effects, right? It's got Timmy energy.
Okay.
It could probably put this at a number of costs and some crazy would try to play it, at least in like the first week of the set. You know, that's how you sell to Timmys. It is an exciting battle cry. And if it fits too easily into a low curve deck, if it's too cheap, it's almost too easy to play out all your stuff and play this. And if it's high cost, if it's like really high cost, then you probably never play it because you have a hand of mystery stuff. The opponent still has their hand. You'd rather have your own cards if you're being that aggressive, right?
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I think so. I'm debunking that theory. Now, I'm not going to go through all the classes and try to debunk every theory. So what would you pay for this? In my head, I'm thinking of like crazy numbers. Like immediately when I read it the first time, I was like, they're going to throw something on this like 9 or 8, right? You know, they're gonna go really high. They're going to go really high because people want to live the dream. But I think a good cost is closer to like 6.
Okay.
So did they do the good cost or did they do the crazy cost? Because you just showed me Typhoon. You're messing with me.
Typhoon.
You just showed me Typhoon, dude, and that punched me right in the brain cells.
That one's a hard one. No, I agree.
Yeah, you know what? It feels like I feel like the perfect spot where somebody could dream the dream I'm talking about. Doesn't matter if it's good, that you just want somebody to care enough about it to try to do it, I think. So where somebody is like going to try to build around this and make it a thing versus this is unattainable, pointless, and silly. Maybe I'm stupid. I'm probably stupid, but I'm going to go with 6. I'm going to go with 6. Yeah, I'm going to go with 6.
Final answer.
Damn it. Yes.
Okay. No, you're fine. It cost 7. Kind of right in the middle. No.
Again?
Bro, Gina's gonna think like I torture you every time.
Oh my God.
Gina's gonna hate me after all these videos, bro. It's like, Rarran put my husband in fucking therapy after when he's done.
Like, I don't know if you play golf, but it's like I got a bogey on every hole because my putt came up an inch short. Like, that just gets infuriating over time, man. It just gets so infuriating.
Okay, now, but hold on. It's fine. I think you did overall really good. Like, don't get it twisted. This is obviously a lot harder because we don't have the same mana system. Like, you have lands and like you have to draw them, you have to put them in your deck. We get it naturally, so it's a little off. I want to ask you though, do you think this card was playable at 7 mana?
No.
I think
no. I think in the end, you just want to play something that works better with your deck than this dream of stealing the opponent's. I think if you had a sideboard, like if you got to change cards in your deck between matches and play a best of 3, I think this would be an interesting option. I think that in an open, kind of just an open 1v1 best of 1 ladder environment, I don't think this was good.
Okay. What if I told you this was a part of a tier 1 deck?
I would say you're probably... it probably involves mana cheating, like most tier 1 decks. It probably involves somehow casting or cloning or getting the battle cry for free.
It was with Druid. This card's called King Togwell. It said swap decks with your opponent, give him a ransom spell to swap back. The ransom.
Oh well, how did I not predict this?
Yeah. So the point of King Togwaggle is that you would swap decks with your opponent, right?
Yeah.
But Hearthstone wants to give you the agency of being able to swap back, so it's not just like a permanent effect. Which means that card goes into your opponent's hand. They can spend 5 mana to get their deck back. But what Azalina does is that you also get the King's Ransom because you copy their hand. Which means if they play their King's Ransom, well, you just play the King's Ransom that you copied from their hand, and therefore they would get the non-deck that you milled through already. And that was like the checkmate combo. Because like no matter what they did, because 5 mana to spend or cast that spell is like you're doing nothing with your turn. So then you're just winning the game because they're just skipping their turn virtually. That was the strategy. Really good win con. Really good win con.
I love that you show me this Azalina. It's like, yeah, could you believe it was part of tier 1 deck? Of course, sure. I, the Magic player, would predict that there would be a King Toggle Waggle that would enter the battlefield and swap decks with your opponent. That's something we do all the time in Magic. Of course.
Listen. You've shown me weirder cards than King Toggle Waggle. You're acting like you're... Yes!
I can't think of a Magic card that says swap decks. I don't think it exists.
The guy who has Sherazad in his game says King Togwaggle. What the hell is that? Yeah, let me just make a sub game in my game, guys. Clearly that's not weird. All right. Anyways, you did great. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Yeah,
here we go.
You are
well done.
Damn it! What you're applauding is how ridiculous this was. Like you got content. You achieved content today. That's what you.
Thank you. Okay.